You've probably heard a lot about Bitcoin lately, whether it's on the news, online, or because your weird mate Steve keeps banging on about how much his is worth. There's a lot of noise and information, and it can be hard to know where to begin. Coin Corner cuts through all the confusion with an easy-to-use site and a friendly customer support team on hand to help. Coin Corner is a quick and easy way to buy Bitcoin in the UK. Visit coincorner.com and enter code FILMBTC at sign up for some free sats or small amounts of Bitcoin to get you started. coincorner.com. Hello and welcome to episode 220 of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking from indie film to studio films and everything in between. How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try and to F it up, in our very, very humble opinion. On this episode, I am delighted that we have on co-directors Powell Robinson and Patrick Robert Young. They have made the movies Bastard and the latest film out now on Arrow called Threshold. Patrick Robert Young wrote that, and Powell Robinson is the cinematographer, though to be honest they kind of share those duties along with the cast, because this movie Threshold was shot on an iPhone. That is correct. We're following the vein of Matthew and Tori Butler Hart, who made their feature film Infinitum Subject Unknown on an iPhone. And so have these boys, Patrick and Powell. They have dived in and made the fantastic, darkly funny road trip movie. It's also very creepy. Threshold. Lauren Bates also produced it with them. It's highly improvised, shot on 2 iPhones, just a crew of 3 and the 2 actors. Oh, it's a joy to dive in deep with them on this week's episode. They talk about their first movie, Bastard, how they made that together pretty much 2 months after they'd finished film school. They talk about why you shouldn't do too many music videos, and why making a film like Bastard and like Threshold will bond you for life. They also talk about how they sold their first movie, Bastard, at 21 years of age, and why they shot on iPhones with their movie, their latest film, which is out now, called Threshold. It is an absolute delight to chat to the boys. We had a laugh, but we also went in deep, and there's some amazing insights and advice for you. I am Giles Alderson. I am a writer, director and a producer, and at the moment I am literally doing the final touches, the final bits of ADR on my latest feature, The Stranger in Our Bed. That's really cool. The score got delivered to me, the first hour yesterday, so I had to listen to that. It's very exciting. And also, I am very close to announcing our latest film, or films. I've been very busy in this lockdown, getting shit ready and getting stuff done, and I hopefully can announce that for you next week. It's super exciting. Yeah, could be making more movies, could be more shit for me to tell you, more dramas and thrills and spills and all that crap, so I can keep doing this podcast and keep making movies for you. Not for you, I'm doing it for me. But it's nice to talk about it. Anyway, let's not mess around. Let's get to it. Here is the fantastic Powell Robinson and the brilliant Patrick Robert Young joining me on this epic Filmmakers Podcast chat. Enjoy, sit back, relax, and enjoy this epic chat about filmmaking on an iPhone or 2. Enjoy. Lads, thank you so much for joining us. Patrick Young, Powell Robinson, how are you both doing? You all right?
Waking up, drinking some tea, eating some donuts, feeling all right. Excited for our movie to come out.
Yes, can't wait. 3rd of May on Arrow Player, all around the world. Hang on, you just said you were having tea. Now,
both
this is
of us, yes.
English thing.
All these Zoom meetings, I think I have a cup of tea with every single one of them every day, so I've burned through boxes of tea over the last year.
Yeah. It gets to you, doesn't it?
It just feels more comfortable having something right here. It's like a little safety blanket.
Yeah, I like to have it on set as well. Coffee, I've only just got into coffee recently, but I quite like that too now. It's a mix. But yeah, it's good. Donuts as well. You thought you'd have a donut 9 a.m. in the morning? Yeah, health reasons.
Here we go. There we are.
It's actually got a donut. I thought you were joking. You've got a donut. This is proper set life right now. Imagine eating food on set was whenever you could. I take it with Threshold. It was like just grab and go.
Yeah, it was a lot of road trip food too. I think we had a lot of car snacks and things.
Yeah.
We didn't exactly. I mean, we had a bucket of snacks, but it was mostly just more normal meals than you would have on set. It's like, oh, well, it's time to stop for lunch. And so we stopped for lunch.
Right. And that was whichever was the nearest. If you're passing a little chef, which there isn't in the USA, but if you're passing somewhere like that, where you're just kind of like, oh, well, that'll do. Let's jump in there. Was it that kind of vibe?
What is a little chef?
Yeah. Okay. Can you guess?
Tiny little people who cook food on the side of the highway?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's just...
It's basically like I can't think of anything relevant in America, but it's basically you can get chips and peas and maybe a terrible bit of chicken that you probably shouldn't have, but it's one of those type places. You can maybe get a fry up. Yeah,
that sounds kind of similar to where we were stopping. I mean, it was a lot of cheap diners anywhere we could find. So.
Cheap diner. I should have said that. It's a cheap diner. That's a better way of describing it. Look, Threshold I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really clever, brilliant piece of filmmaking. The fact you did a couple of iPhones, the fact it was just 3 crew. I imagine you, Patrick, you, Powell, and Lauren as well. Was that right? Was it the 3 of you, Lauren Bates, your producer?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's the 3 of you, plus your 2 actors or whatever other actors did come in and out. That must have been a fascinating challenge. Did you just kind of go, let's just do this? Was it one of those mornings where you're like, was it 9 a.m, you had your cup of tea, you had your donut, and you thought, let's go make a movie on an iPhone? Tell us how it came about. Why do this really difficult thing of shooting on iPhones with no crew?
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. We've our first movie, Bastard, came out in 2015,
yep.
And right after that, we pushed on a couple of larger projects real fast. And they got really close to happening,
yep.
And then obviously they did not. And I got paid to write a couple Lifetime movies.
Oh, okay.
And was able to save a little bit of money up. And one day the frustration just built up enough, and I sent Powell a message like, "Hey, how much money you got? You want to make a movie?"
Yeah, I love that. Which is great because also in between that time you were involved in green light as well, or green lit, depending on where you're from and where it's. Yeah.
Yeah. So Patrick wrote that one, and I shot that one.
Yes.
Our friend Graham Denman directed it. Yeah.
That's correct. And the Horror Collective, or I suppose Entertainment Squad, which is the new Horror Collective, was their first sort of one out of the bat, and they distributed my movie The Dare as well. So I'd heard all about green light or green lit. Or green lighted, and I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a brilliant piece.
Thank you.
Brilliant piece, very well written.
The Dare is a fun piece of filmmaking too.
Oh, thank you, man. Oh, that's cool.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's really interesting, our connection there as well with the Horror Collective and Shaked and all that world. It's really nice. But it's that difficult thing, isn't it, when you've made a film and you're pushing stuff out to try and make another one, and people are just sort of. Yes, they all say yes, it's the moving forward, and then it just doesn't. There's something stops it or stalls it, or there's a problem with cast or whatever it is, or crew, or it can be very frustrating. How did you, like I say, you dealt with it by going, fuck it, let's go make another film. But during that time, it'd be really interesting for our listeners to know how difficult that is, and what did you do to sort of get through those difficult times, apart from writing a movie for Lifetime that didn't pay you a lifetime's wages.
I always tell anyone who asks me, like, going to school for film, did you go as a director? Did you go for some other trade or whatever? And, when you get to film school, everyone's going to be a director. And so I thought it would better suit me upon graduating to, take up something else as well. So I focused on cinematography while I was there, because I knew that out of 300 kids, not all 300 of them were going to end up directing. It's just 100% unrealistic.
Yes.
It's just never going to happen.
Yeah. 3% maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. And so naturally I told everyone, I'm just going to shoot. And then I left college, and 2 months later, Patrick and I directed Bastard. And, I looked like a total asshat. But
asset. Did you say asset then? Yeah.
I said ass hat.
Yeah.
But, in between Bastard and Threshold, I went back to shooting a ton, because that was just, I didn't want to have to take on a job that wasn't related to film, and I knew cinematography was something I was moderately at least good at, and I could do as, for lack of a better term, a day job. And so I shoot a ton of music videos and commercials, and that kept me learning and trying new things without having to. It's really easy to get pigeonholed, and I've seen it happen to friends. Patrick and I have directed 2 music videos in 7 years on purpose, because the second you do more than that, you become a music video director.
Yes, correct.
And so we've stayed out of it. And I lucked out that while Patrick was working on his own writing projects, I got to direct tour visuals for 7 Lines, the EDM artist, which was really cool. And I directed a few commercials because I knew that was safer than. Yeah, I could have easily gone into directing music videos because of all the connections I'd made from shooting them, and I chose to not. And so that did ease the time between projects to keep working on film in some way or another.
Yeah, that makes sense. Patrick, yourself?
I didn't spend as much time on set in the past few years. I needed sort of the energy and time to be able to work on my own writing, which meant for me holding down a lot more quote unquote normal jobs. Our film Bastard premiered at a movie theater at Universal Studios, right?
Nice.
And within 6 months, I was working there. I was, working at a movie theater, as just a day job to be around movies, but also have time to work on my writing.
Mm-hmm.
We made Bastard, and we've made Threshold with zero expectations that they'll make money.
Yep.
We're not doing it for that. They're down payments on our talent and our career, and we know everything we make now will make us better directors for when we have the opportunity to use money, and we won't waste that opportunity because of what we've done with these.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It is always about learning, isn't it? And the more you can be on set, the better you'll be. But I love what you said about not pigeonholing yourselves as a music video director, because you can easily go down that route. I say easily, you've still got to work hard to get there. There's no question about it. But
once you're there, you're there.
You're there. Yeah. Same with commercials. You do a load of commercials. It can be very difficult to then go, hey, no, I'm still making films, because your time is taken up with making commercials and pitching for them and doing that. Whereas you go, no, I just want to do film. But as a film director,
those are very different muscles.
Very different muscle, and you're not on set enough as a film director or cinematographer. Much more as a cinematographer and an actor, but as a director, you're very rarely on set. You can go to other people's or you can produce stuff, but to actually get your hands on a camera and actors is more difficult. So it's great that you were doing that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about Bastard then, because you mentioned 2 months out of film school. That's really cool. Before we come to Threshold, let's talk about Bastard. And
so Bastard started off in a very funny way. So Patrick and I were dorm mates, freshman year of college. He lived right next to me. He was my direct neighbor. Our walls shared. We obviously worked on stuff early on, just fun, whatever things while we were waiting for the production classes to actually start. But one of the things that I brought up to him was I had this short story that I had thought of since high school. And this is a theme that we'll get around to when Threshold comes around, where I had handed him this short story, and I was like, hey, I don't know how to write this, but could you write it? Because I don't know how yet. And it was about a pair of traveling serial killers who had a game of trading off killing people as they went. And that became the basis for Hannah and West, the leads in Bastard. And then
Makes sense.
Patrick had a short story as well that I'll let him talk about a brother and sister with a unusual relationship.
Well, yeah, it wasn't a short story. So the next year, our sophomore year, I was in a screenwriting class where we were developing different feature films that we had to write. And one of the options I developed was this, questionable brother-sister relationship that may or may not have involved some incest, but I didn't end up writing it, but I really loved the characters.
Okay.
And then it hit senior year, and, my love for horror had continued to grow and grow and grow, and I was looking at fun ways to sort of play with the genre, and so I was like, okay, what if I took all these characters I love from all these different projects that never happened or I didn't get to, and, what if they all accidentally walked into a horror movie? Like, what if they all had their own movie and they all accidentally walked into this one place together?
Love that.
And so I wrote that, and I chose cannibalism for that one after seeing the movie Ravenous.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And so I wrote that super quick. It was a super short script, like 72 pages. And I slammed it down in front of Powell and was like, well, what do you think of this? 4 years after you gave me this idea.
So we took that and we shot a little teaser because we knew we needed to raise some money. So we shot the opening scene of Bastard on the highway with the hammer kill. And that still exists in some form somewhere. And I would love to find it eventually to, show people, because it's really funny to do the side by side of the real movie and that. But so we did that, and we went on a hell of a run, finding money and not finding money, and then we were still in school, and so we were figuring it all out as we went. And we managed to secure some amount of funding, and then 2 weeks before the shoot was supposed to happen, it all dropped out because they were like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We actually want to make our own movie, so we're going to take that money you guys were supposed to have, and we're going to go make our own. No. So we are 21. We have a full crew signed on. We've got everything booked. Everything's ready to go, and we're 140 grand short. We were like, well, if I take a loan out on my car, and if we all scrap together whatever money our family and friends can help us with, maybe we can still make this for half the original amount. Because, we're fresh out of school. Not everyone are working at super high commercial rates yet, and we all need a first feature, and everyone's still excited about it. So we just we cut the budget in half and just did it somehow.
I can't believe that's amazing. And also, when you, like you say, it's brave and dangerous, but also the fact that you were 2 weeks away from shooting, you prepped everything, you've got your crew, not everything, but you're in the middle of that prep session, you're really close. It's kind of a bit like, well, look, we're in it now, we're either going to do this or this might never happen again. How do you feel about it now? Are you glad you did that?
It could never
I love
happen
Bastard.
again. Yeah.
You both jumped in. Yeah, 100%.
A one-of-a-time experience. I mean, it was us and, 20 of our friends sleeping in my family's cabin in a rented-out location. Some of us on couches.
Patrick and I shared a bed for the entire shoot. It was...
Got close. Yeah. Donuts all around. And that's so nice, though, because also in terms of getting it done and just getting on with it, it's something you'll never, ever forget. And you as a group of people, and I'm sure there was differences throughout that, but the fact is, you could see one of those people on the street in 20 years' time and you'd still have that amazing connection that you did this together and you achieved it. And it came out,
Oh, yeah. We still have friends.
One of our favorite people in the world we met because, he was a friend of our actors, and he wanted to move out to LA but couldn't afford it, but we gave him, a PA or design gig on this job. Yeah. And so he was able to use that money to move out here and fell in love with him. It's bonds people.
Well, yeah, we have people who are now like our friend David Bolin, who's an amazing cinematographer, and he just had a short that was nominated for an Oscar that he shot. Wow. And he gaffed that as a favor to me because I shot his thesis, and he still comes back to me and says, that's my favorite shoot. Like, I still remember that more than anything I've done. Yeah. It's that one. He's shot like TV for Netflix. He's been working constantly, but people like that will come back and be like, hey, Bastard was still the best experience I've ever had on a set. And it was insane. It shouldn't be. It was like 18 to 20 hours a day. Like, we were dying. We were shooting.
We had half a day rained out. We lost half a day to like an injury, and somehow still made it.
Yeah. You do though, don't you? It's that thing where you just go, well, we've got to make it. We've got to keep going, and especially
we didn't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. It's your first one. It's your money. So everything becomes, oh my God, we've got to do this. And that bonds and creates. And you probably never be as creative as everyone says this. And it's only after you've made more than one film you go, yeah, I'm never as creative as on my first film. And I was also never as fucked and never as brain mashed and pressured. All that kind of stuff is full on.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we weren't refined as directors. I haven't studied as much. I haven't worked with actors as much. I haven't developed, what I think works for me, or, Powell and I mean, our directing methods changed massively even after Threshold. Yeah. We were acting completely off of instinct and what felt right.
Isn't that fascinating? And you know what? And people say this often on this podcast, is your instinct is the most important thing. When you, in your gut and your heart tells you to do a shot a certain way, or ask the actor to do it a certain way, or whatever it is that you find within there, it's your instinct. And we've watched movies since we were, babies. All the way, we know the beginning and the end. We know beats of how it's supposed to be. So we kind of have that instinct. And some people are more creative than others. And we go, cool, that's why we want to direct or produce or make things or shoot something, is because we have that in us and that ability in some way to just get the shots done and get it made and go, well, okay, I need this side and I need to cover it that side. And hey, if we get a wide, well, it's the scene and let's try and do something magic in between if we can. And, that's just the simplistic nature of it. And that's fascinating.
That word instinct, you'll find, comes back a lot for Threshold as well, because that was how the actors constantly described it to us on set because of the shooting conditions. They would always say, like, because we were shooting so fast, so furious, it was sunset, we were like on the road so much, they were like, we didn't really get to think about our characters as normally as we would, and it was just all purely acting on instinct. I think they said that every other day while we were shooting it.
Must be interesting doing it together then. Let's talk about that with Bastard, and the first time you sort of, did work together on that properly. Patrick, you were like, come on, let's just go shoot this. Let's go do it. With Threshold especially, but certainly on this with Bastard. How did you work together on that, and how's that changed into Threshold?
I mean, over the 4 years that we knew each other beforehand, and now it's been even longer, we realized we're so in sync with each other's taste that we sort of knew we could trust each other, that like the other wouldn't fuck up if they had to give an opinion to PD or had to talk to an actor or anything.
Yeah.
We seen enough movies and worked together enough that we knew we could trust the other ones with character or visual storytelling. Either way, a lot of people ask us, since Powell's a DP and you're a writer, so you handle character and you handle the camera, right? I go, no, like when we're on set, we're both equally as invested in either side.
Yeah, we found a few different ways to make it work too, where we knew this. I'm proud to say this actually did start with Bastard too. We knew that two voices would confuse a lot of, giving two voices to the actors in terms of direction, and two voices to every department head would confuse them in terms of notes as well. And so we always divvy up who's going to talk to who on a need to do basis. But often Patrick and I will split up, and I'll talk to one actor while he talks to the other. And we'll make sure that we're the ones talking to that specific actor for that scene, so that they aren't getting two opinions and it feels like they have clear direction all the time. Because, if you're an actor and you're doing a heavy scene, like I remember specifically Rebecca tied to the bed in Bastard at the end, or in the tub. I was always talking to Rebecca and Patrick always talking to Tanya, because we just knew they had so much on their minds. I mean, that monologue, we did it as a oneer, that thing where it's like, she comes in with the hammer and sits down. We never planned on getting cross coverage. So if we don't get this right in one, it can't happen. And so poor actors, they had a lot going on.
It wasn't about us worrying that we'd be giving them different notes. It's just we didn't want to confuse them with styles. Like if Powell's going in there and talking about something personal or quiet, and I come in with a metaphor, we didn't want to switch up their brains unnecessarily.
The fact the two of you had that decision and the talk beforehand, this is what we're going to do, or maybe it just manifested that way, but it sounds like it worked for you, and that's what's important.
It depends on who you ask.
yeah. But it also means that we're able to split up in a healthy, good way. Where normally, if you needed to go finish one scene and go set up for another one, you might need a second unit director or a very trusty first AD. But on a small shoot like us, it lent us the ability to actually fully make two units and go prep some far away spot. Because we were shooting on all ends of Big Bear and Arrowhead, and so sometimes we were driving and doing a driving scene, but one of us needed to be building with the PD team at the next spot. And we just trusted each other enough that if we had to split up, the scene would come out the same way as if only one of us was there.
I like. It's also helpful for us still being young directors. We're still in the phase where we understand, we can still make better movies together than we would alone. That added experience and vision bitter alone. And it also means, I mean, you can imagine what kind of sleep we were getting on both of these movies.
Oh, God.
It meant that if one of us got tired or needed to just step away for 15 minutes, the set wasn't rudderless.
Yes. Which can happen. Your brain can switch off. You are ridiculously tired. You need to have so much in your head and brain, and constantly people are asking you questions. You've got to know where the next setup is and where the next shot's going to be and what the next costume needs to, all that kind of stuff. You need to know. It's like this encyclopedia of this film, and you have to know every single thing. And you will get a brain freeze where you have no idea. And the fact that you two can have that communication where you go, sorry, what's that bit? And the other person can go, that's that. And you go, oh yes, of course, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we also, of course, I mean, if we want to talk, you mentioned at the top of the show, getting into the gritty, not stuff you don't want to hear about normally. I mean, on Bastard, we had our editor up there with us in Big River. So he was living in like the upstairs foyer of this cabin thing outside our bedroom, and he pretty much had a mattress out there. And so he was editing the movie as we went. And there was one day near the end of the shoot that Patrick and I decided it would be great to have a promo clip done. So we could release it while we were shooting, which meant that we shot all day, and then we stayed up all night to edit. Then we shot the next day. And so we had been up for about 30-something hours, 32 hours at that point. And I passed out on set in the middle of a shot. I was standing at the monitor and just fell to the floor. I completely blacked out. Take's great, but luckily, we got most of it before I blacked out. But yeah, got back up, got a Red Bull. We were sponsored by Red Bull. Patrick emailed them early on in the shoot and got us the Red Bull sponsorship.
Congratulations.
Yeah, took a Red Bull, finished out the next 2 hours of the shoot, and then crashed really hard. But same thing in the when we were shooting the meat shack cabin, Patrick, when you had to step away for a minute. Yeah. Like we were beat.
Actually, one of the draws, we told our actors on Threshold, we didn't have a lot of space or time on that shoot, but we were shooting chronologically and didn't have a strict plan. So we told them, like, hey, if you need, like, if you're not feeling up to this and we need to take 6 hours off, the day shoot can become a night shoot, and like we are the masters of our own domain, and it's not anything bigger than these types of movies. You don't have that kind of control, which is nice. But also, I want money.
Yeah, well, that's it. You also want to be paid for your work, and that's the freedom of what you guys have done with Bastard and Threshold is incredible. And like, hopefully, all the stuff you do moving forward, you will have the massive cruise, and you will have that. No, we finish in 10 hours, mate. You can't go over because that's going to cost so much, because everyone needs their overtime payments. And like when you've got that freedom with your first film, if you like, and when it's just you lot running around making it, you can push the limits, and you've got to be really careful because your crew can go, do you know what? Fuck off. I've like you guys, I've worked 30 hours. I'm knackered, and tensions can get high, and it can be an emotional place. It's why a lot of people do break down and cry, because you're so tired and you're so emotional and you so want to do a good job, and you're so worried for your career at that point that it can get really fraught.
I just had a funny memory from Bastard, actually. There was a night shoot. We had to reshoot a fight scene in the middle of the night. I think Patrick knows where this is going. But basically, so our lead actor, he's losing it. He's having trouble staying in it. And we're working with him. And his friend who we had brought, the guy that we had talked about earlier, who we brought out and gave him a job, they'd acted together a lot and they'd worked together a lot. And he was like, can I just go stand with Devin for a minute? And basically they go and talk and they just like hug it out. And then Dan starts crying, the actor. And then our friend Devin starts crying, and then we go over to talk to them, and he's talking about how much this means to him and how emotional this is and what their relationship is. So we start crying, and then Lauren comes over and she's like, "Hey guys, this is nice and all, but we need to work now." And I'm like, and it was definitely a night. Again, we had quite a few of those.
Yeah, but it's that wonderful learning experience. You can never take that away, and you can never forget it. It's yours forever. No one can ever take that away from you, even though it becomes the audience's film after you release it. I do believe that. It's kind of yours, but it's not anymore. It's theirs now to love it, or fantasize about it, or go just be fans about it. But during that time, it's yours, and it's a wonderful thing. You got distributed through Touchstone distribution for Bastard. How did that come about? How did you go from, shooting this for, a crazy amount of time and all those hours and editing it on a mattress outside your bedroom and etc. How did you then go, cool, we've got a movie here. How do we, in your first movie, how did you manage to get it out?
Torch/Archstone came about, I think, a full year after our U.S. distribution. Which,
okay.
I mean, same way we got Threshold, man. We looked at some like sales agencies and we're like, oh man, they're all taking a cut and I don't know if they're good. And I just told Powell, like, can you just give me like a couple months? I'm gonna just try to blind email some people. I'm just gonna email these companies with the trailer that we edited, that's super violent and cool looking, and see what happens. And I was working in a restaurant. And I was in the back, either making cookies or washing dishes. And I get an email from the company, a U.S. company called After Dark.
Yes.
Who used to do this series that was super popular when Powell and I were in high school, called 8 Films to Die For. They take films from around the world and put them out. And I just, like, in my head, my association with it is just a wall of 8 Films to Die For and Ghost House Presents, like at Blockbuster or video stores. And, they had produced a movie Powell and I really love, and I had initially bonded over in college, called Wrist Cutters, A Love Story.
Okay.
And they emailed us like, hey, love the trailer, love the movie. We're bringing the series back. We would love to give your movie a theatrical run and put it out to the world. Like, we shit our pants. Like, how do you turn that? Like, we're 21-year-olds who just made like a
very silly, weird movie, like a truly
batshit crazy, but with your own money. And suddenly someone's going, "We'd like to do a theatrical."
Yeah, and like, we were clearly the cheapest movie out of the 8. I don't want to say clearly because, selfishly, I think our movie looks pretty good. Just blind emails, and then after that, we got some interest from some other outside agencies, and honestly, for everything else, we just wanted to be done with the movie. Yeah. So we just found the company that would handle the rest of the world, handed it to them, and I think I've talked to them like twice since.
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't follow the same path at all initially. Because Threshold only succeeded because of its festival run. We knew Threshold was a festival movie. We knew that it would do well because of that. Bastard, we did not understand the tact of approaching the right festivals for the right movie at that time. We were like, you come out of film school and you've heard of 5. You've heard of like Sundance, Cannes, Tribeca,
Toronto,
and exactly. So we're sitting here with this movie, this horror movie where someone gets smacked in the face with a purple dildo, and like, dude, Sundance doesn't want that shit. We thought it would be funny.
But we did. We sent it to Sundance. And we sent an unfinished temp music cut version of Bastard to Sundance.
And Cannes. And we were like, okay, wouldn't it be hilarious if Cannes screened Bastard?
Yeah, it would have been.
It would have been genuinely hilarious. But like, it didn't work out. We didn't even think to be like, oh yeah, there's a whole world of horror festivals that would eat this shit up. Because we were so young and so eager and thought we could like just, I don't know, submit to Cannes and things would be fine. And we learned our lesson real hard.
Yeah, sure. Because it costs money to put yourself into these festivals, and you've got to think strategically, especially when you spent all your money.
Also, I mean, especially with a movie at this budget, it needs the festival run to build a community, a fan base, and just people to getting it out there. I mean, especially now, it's so much useful with the proliferation of different podcasts like this, reaching out to different areas. I would definitely call both Bastard and Threshold niche films. They're movies for a very specific type of viewer, and it's very hard to reach that viewer if you're not putting it,
directly in front of their faces. Yeah.
And I think that's a testament to you guys for sort of going, fuck it, let's just email, let's just put it out there, and you made a great film, so therefore it's not shite. It's not, oh God, people are coming back to you going, well, actually, we could probably sell this and make some money. Did you, obviously, and at the time, you might not have known how to do the deals in terms of understanding distribution and sales, contracts and stuff like that.
Bastard, we had a lawyer.
Great, okay.
Yeah, we hired a lawyer because we knew we didn't.
Yeah,
we didn't.
yeah, it's
know.
best to say that, isn't it? We don't know, so someone help us.
Since
on
then,
this.
you know, I've worked at enough production companies, and Lauren's done enough producer work. I mean, Lauren's worked on, you know, multi-million-dollar movies and everything. You know, we felt a little bit more confident with Threshold this time around, that we could kind of handle it on our own. Especially because, I mean, it's even cheaper than Bastard, so we were like, we have even less expectations.
Yeah.
So
Threshold, while it did make its way to festivals, we still did end up just blind emailing like 30 companies again. Like we did the exact same
Arrow
thing.
was a blind email.
But we had more backup this time because we had all the festival run official selections and the awards we'd gotten. So, you know, there's a good, well, not just good, an excellent, like Patrick said, fan base that we've gotten, especially from Salem Horror Fest and Soho. Kay at Salem, we credit them with just like, you know, so much of what's, you know, so much of this movie's success.
And isn't it great when you do get those champions behind you, and they'll be there forever? You know, they'll ask you to come back, even if they've not seen your next film. They'll say, "Oh yeah, bring it to our festival." That's amazing. It's an amazing place to be, because then you get the fans of that and the reviewers who went there going, "Oh, it's the guys who made Threshold. It's the guys who made Bastard." And that's only good for you and your careers moving forward, and they're the fans forever. And you keep them.
Sometimes guys who made Bastard isn't a compliment, but it's okay.
Those Bastard guys. Great title, by the way. Bastard is such a great title. So cool. Oh, sorry guys, I'm getting a phone call. It's Robbie. It must be something important. Hey, Robbie.
Hey, Giles.
All right.
Yeah, I'm doing this quiz, okay? And I've got this crucial question. Oh, I can only come to you for it.
Well, I'm kind of in the middle of a podcast episode here. Robbie, you know,
it won't take a minute. Come on,
are you sure? Because they're waiting uncomfortably now.
Well,
I guess
I can't go to anyone else to this. I can't go to.
Oh, it must be filmic based then. Okay, cool. All right, very good at the filmic stuff. All right, here we go.
It kind of is. Yeah, I mean, basically, who created Bitcoin?
I'm glad you asked, Robbie. You see, according to Bitcoin white paper, it is claimed to have been created by a mysterious person or a group of people referred to as Satoshi Nakamoto. The name, however, is a pseudonym to keep the actual person behind it off the grid.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I didn't see that coming. I just see you in a whole new light now, Giles. That's just mind-blowing.
Thanks, mate. If you do want Bitcoin though, Robbie, sign up with Coin Corner now and use the voucher code FilmBTC to get your Bitcoin journey started with some free sats.
And the link for that's in the show notes, right?
The link is in the show notes. And by the way, I want half the prize money from your quiz.
Gotta go.
Wow. Sorry about that. But while I've got you, there's some shout-outs to do. Why not now? Now's a perfect time to do some shout-outs, isn't it? All right, then, let's do them. Shout-outs to the people who've been fabulous, who've helped me as a filmmaker, but also helped the podcast this week and in weeks past by just going on our Twitter and giving us some love. If you want a shout-out, do the same. Sarah Arnaud, Philip Connolly, Laura Gregory, Christopher Taylor, Tolly Shields. Thank you. Huge shout out to you for the Mank episode. She knows what that means. Andrew Knight and Olivia Nash, a young Austin, Texas female filmmaker who emailed me, well, the podcast really, to ask for a shout out about her latest film that they have as a Kickstarter. They are crowdfunding right now and they want your help. So, filmmakers around the world listening to this, jump on our show notes. There will be a link because she's making a young adult drama called Hit the Movie. The logline is, on the banks of a coastal village, a pair of young adult writers, two teen lovers, and mentally ill parents intertwine in three tales of love and forgiveness during separate stages of life. Manchester by the Sea meets the perks of being a wallflower. Do go support if you can. It's so important to support indie filmmakers. So if you've got some spare cash, do go support. Thank you, Olivia, for writing in. If you want your name read out on the Filmmakers podcast, if you've got a crowdfunder or a film you want to promote, then email us at filmmakers... at thefilmmakerspodcast@gmail.com and we'll give you some love too. It's easy. Share the filmmaking love, everyone. Let's do it. And while I've got you, why not join us on our Patreon page? If you like this podcast, for one, go tell your pals. But if you really like this, come and be part of the team. The links to our Patreon are in the show notes. I won't blather on about them now, but there's some really cool little perks. Right, sorry about that, gents. Anyway, where were we? Let's get into Threshold then, because, like I say, it is an amazing achievement.
Thank you.
Just the three of you shooting an iPhone looks fantastic, and quite a lot improvised by what I read about it, which is great. Do you want to just describe what it's about? Whoever's good at this.
Patrick, you do the synopsis thing.
Yeah, so the movie's about an estranged brother and sister. The brother is tasked to bring his sister some help because she's having some trouble with drugs, but she says she's gotten clean, claims that, in fact, she has now been cursed and bonded to a stranger to feel whatever they feel, and that the only way to break the bond is to go find him. He says he will help on the condition that if that person does not end up existing, she will go right to rehab.
It's so cool. This is out May the 3rd, by the way, on Arrow. Do go seek it out. It's really cool. It really is. It's great. Well done. It's a great achievement. I'm so glad that you just, like say, had your tea and donuts and went, let's go make this. What was your feeling then when you said, yeah, let's go do it? Was it always the idea to shoot on iPhones? Was the idea always to kind of shoot improvisational? Obviously there is a script. So talk us through that. Talk us through your process of how you went, yeah, let's go do it. And how did you set about it?
We've been talking about doing something like this for a while. Even when we were developing our other projects, we had this, idea to what if we just, took like $10,000 and did something wacky that no one else could do with $10,000, like shoot a space movie, but it's all in one room. And, we always knew we wanted to do something cheap that could push ourselves, but it never came to fruition. And then, like I said, that money came in and I asked Powell if he wanted to do something. And we both instantly knew we wanted to do something on the road. We wanted to, the point of this was to go make something with friends. We wanted to get away. And honestly, you can't shoot this kind of movie in LA. You can't shoot discreetly outdoors. You can't shoot cheaply. It's not quiet anywhere. It's not, honestly, exactly pretty in more than 2 locations. And so I had a short story that I had in high school, 10 years before, for this drug called physical marriage. That was it was supposed to be a black market drug that people used, and this couple, one of them accidentally used it with somebody else, and it was a bad dose, and she got connected to this person, and they had to go find him.
Nice.
And I never ended up writing it, but I always had it as a log line, always in my pocket of ideas. And I brought it to Powell. He loved it. And we were able to make it really personal. And then when we really started talking about how we would make it, I got another text from Powell.
Yeah, so we... Basically, he had said, look, we got a 20-page outline. There's no dialogue. We're going to shoot it, raw and improv, the whole thing. So we knew 2 cameras off the bat was just going to be necessary for that. So that meant with only 3 of us, Patrick would be operating one of the cameras and I'd be operating the other. Patrick has many strengths. Patrick does not work as a DP. And so, it was just...
Thank you for being gentle.
Yes. And not that it's honestly, framing and composition's all really, really good. It's just the technical, he just hasn't pulled focus. To be fair, I don't usually pull my own focus either because I have an AC who does that. So we knew, honestly, both of us needed a little bit simple so that we could be focusing on just actually shooting it and what's happening in front of the lens and not worried about the performance was good, but I missed my focus. And so it had to be something easy to work with. And so I thought maybe we could find some sort of DSLR that had autofocus so we could just worry about, the composition and the characters. And then I watched Unsane, Steven Soderbergh's movie. And I was like, that looks pretty good. That's graded pretty well. Can you grade iPhone footage? Huh, cool. And then I texted Patrick, I'm probably going to regret this a lot, but what if we shot this on iPhones? And so he laughed at me because he joked about it a month before that. And I'd been like, iPhones, let's not do that.
I mean, there's even the joke, written into, you said you saw green light at the end, where the producer, during the finale of the movie, he was like, if it wasn't for me, you'd still be shooting on fucking iPhones.
Yeah.
And then like a
You
year
know,
after
you're doing
that, we
it.
went out
Yeah.
and shot a movie on iPhones.
But yeah, so that's kind of where it came about. And then we realized, look, if we do that, we can really steal all these locations. We can get away with whatever we need to. Like if Lauren needs to hold a camera too, she also can hold a camera. Sometimes one of our actors might help us out if they're not on screen. Like
People are so used to seeing people outside
Just
on their phone using the camera. We could be taking a selfie. They don't
Instagram
know what
video,
we're doing.
no one cared. Literally no one, only one location kind of bugged us about it. And we still managed to get away with it. The karaoke bar, they called us out. But they still just let us keep filming and it was fine.
There you go. And by being nice and going, look, we're just doing this. It's a bit of fun. They're usually all right.
Well, we did tell them.
Well, they said we could do it as long as we left quickly.
Oh, fine.
We
improvise really quickly.
We told them it was also like a video for our mom. We were like, oh, our mom wants us to film us singing the song together.
Because we had to send them up there to sing the song multiple times to get enough coverage. Which you don't do that at karaoke bars.
No one does that karaoke bar.
No,
same song
like,
again.
oh, we missed the first performance, and their mom really wants to see them. We're just let us do this one more time, and we'll leave.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to work Skype. Yeah, so we're gonna have to go again. Do you mind? Oh, that's great. That's so much fun. Yeah, so you're now going, okay, look, we're shooting on iPhones. Fuck it, we can do this. What app did you use? How did you make it work?
Filmic
for you
Pro.
That
was the
Filmic Pro. That's the one.
It was great. It was really easy to operate once you had all the settings dialed in. Kind of just press record and go.
Yeah. What about sound? What about sound wise then?
Patrick was our dedicated sound guy.
Also, I want to mention our moment lenses were great. Is what we also shot on. We had 5 lenses.
Yeah, we had 2 matching sets. Basically, we had each of our phones had a telephoto, a wide angle, and a macro. So we had 6.
Right. Just the little ones that slot over the top.
Exactly.
Because a lot of this movie was so smooth, and I never thought if I hadn't known you were shooting on an iPhone, I would never have thought this is shot on an iPhone. Because everything was smooth, everything was delightful, and the composition was really strong.
Powell's very good at his job.
Thanks.
Yes, he's very good at his job. That's true.
Patrick.
Did you have like a Movi with it, or did you?
Yeah, we had a little DJI glide.
DJI glide. Right,
We used it twice.
We realized very quickly because we had the iPhone 8 Plus, it was a little big for the DJI and with the moment lens on it. It was too heavy, and so the stabilization didn't really work.
Right.
And I actually ended up having to post-stabilize both of the scenes we shot it on because it was so jittery. You'd never know now, but we just kind of...
We had like little wooden bars that we kept them on to keep them sort of stable. We weren't just...
Moment makes
we
accessible,
weren't just
handheld
doing that.
accessories.
Yeah. Fine. Oh, good. So at least you could put a little rest it on your shoulder, or was it just the little bars so you could?
No, it's just holding up bars, and we could screw our Zoom recorder in. When we had for sound, we had a Zoom recorder.
Yep.
With only 2 ports and 2 channels in it.
Yeah, H4n
which means we had to choose constantly whether to use our 2 lavs,
right,
or lav one of the actors and boom.
Yes.
So most of the time it was if we're in the car, they were
both laved up.
They're both laved, and then the Zoom sat between them to get the using because the Zoom mic on the Zoom.
Right. Yes.
But most of the time it was Powell either running back and forth between the cameras as Lauren or I boomed, or me holding one camera with the boom mic under my armpit.
And I'm reaching over, changing his settings, and then reading back to my camera, and it was.
How fun though. I know as much as you sort of going, oh, it would have been great to have someone doing this, and it would be great to shoot on red or whatever. At the same time, you must have you feel alive, right? Shooting it that way. Because...
Yeah, I mean, it was very throwback to, high school buddies when we didn't know shit. Just everybody did everything because no one knew better than the other person. Here it was just whoever had an open hand. We have a really nice long making of for the movie, and there's footage in it of Lauren just with the boom mic, and
Brilliant. Where is that? Can people see that as well as the movie?
That'll be on Arrow and other places later in the year.
Perfect.
So it'll also be on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Great. So you got Blu-ray as well. That's wonderful. Really good. how did you plan it then? Because obviously doing a road movie is not easy, you know. You've suddenly got to find all the locations. You've got to, you know, like say certain karaoke bars you haven't even asked yet, etc.
The outline, we had a 23-page outline with no third act. By the way,
Really?
We knew we were shooting chronologically, and with improvisation, it was going to change. The outline was broken down into days, you know, so we had sort of goalposts of, you know, what we wanted to shoot each day, and so then we took that and applied it to, you know, a map and made a general point, like, okay, we're going to go here, 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 even if we didn't have places booked to stay yet. I mean, once we got on the road, that changed. You know, we got here and like, oh, there's more locations than we thought we could use, and stayed there, you know, an extra day or two, and then kept going. And, you know, we kept things flexible, but still had guidelines.
Okay. So you knew some of your locations, but you kind of didn't know what's happening at the end. So therefore you hadn't found that what looked like brilliant location for your ending, you know?
Yeah. Like we knew, you know, like the Airbnb scene with the clown. 2 days before that, we didn't know we were going to be shooting in that city. We didn't know we were going to be shooting in that house. We just knew, we need a nice house somewhere within 100 miles of Salt Lake City.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah, we pretty much we planned where we'd have to put a base camp and sleep, but not exactly the intermediate locations along the way. So
fine.
The other trick was we needed it to, if you plot their journey, it had to make sense time-wise, because like they're on the road for 4 days or 5 days. So we couldn't just have it be like, oh, they're going from Texas to California and it's like a 5-day drive. So we had the in-movie geographical map of where they were driving through, and then we had our actual map of where we had to drive to make it look like they were doing that. So
we tried to pay attention to making sure, as I mean, it's a road trip movie, you need to feel like you're progressing, and so we needed to make sure the changing landscape, so tracking from small town to desert to snow to smaller town to you know,
mountains, and then
Vegas specifically to mountains, making sure every because I mean, there's a very anthological feel to this. You know, there's a lot of we travel, we talk, we travel, we talk. You know, so you have different segments, and we needed each of those to feel very different.
Yeah, and you did, and it's like I say, that works really well, and I love that you put that together like that. Was it just the five of you in the car for a lot of the
Two
time?
cars. We had 2 cars.
Oh, you had 2 cars.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank God. I was going to say, when you're saying we don't want to film anymore, we're going to have a little break. Otherwise, you'd just be all crammed in the car going, oh, fuck. I need a break.
There was still plenty of that.
yeah, there was.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I mean, the actors talk about, I mean, the hardest part most of the time for them was just not having space or breaks. You know, most of our downtime was spent traveling, and, you know, it's hard to sleep in a car. And, you know, they always still had to kind of be awake, because when we were traveling, there was always the potential to start filming. Because if we saw something cool, we were going to go shoot.
Doing it, yeah.
Well, of course you are. Look at it. You know, the sky looks great at that particular point. Or there's a great backdrop. Or there's a great, get back in character. Just fucking talk about that, whatever it is that you need. And your 2 leads, Joey Millen and Madison West as well. Just brilliant. Really held the film together. Did you cast them, or did you know them? How did that work?
Just found them on the side of the road. Yeah, no, they were
brilliant. Perfect.
Yeah, no, Madison actually lived on the same floor as us that freshman year. We've known her for a very long time. Actually, I mean, she was one of the pieces where, you know, like, oh, you know, if Madison did this with us, I think we could really pull this off. And then we spent a couple weeks casting sort of around her.
And then Joey
doing chemistry tests with her and other actors. And she'd worked before with Joey. I'd known Joey in college as well. All 5 of us went to the same college.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, she had worked with Joey before, even if we hadn't, and so she had a certain trust level with him and his improv skills. And I mean, a movie like this, trust was massive. I mean, we're all sleeping in the same bedroom most of the time, sharing beds or floors with Joey.
Yeah, because you have to keep costs down, don't you? So, like, say you'll get 2 hotel rooms rather than, you know, 5. You know, so the 3 boys will be in one, the 2 girls in another, I suppose. And I suppose that's how it.
No, we were just all in one together.
No, we were all in the same room.
Oh, right. Literally.
Most
Oh,
of the
yeah,
time,
one room.
except for nights like at the Airbnb where we all got our own room because it's a nicer, bigger place.
What a luxury.
Yeah.
There's the scene where any hotel scene you
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
That was the room we were all sleeping in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is even better. How many
Yeah.
days was this? How many?
12.
12 days. This is what an adventure. Again,
Yeah.
right. So therefore you need to make sure the people who are on that adventure with you know what they're getting into, and they know this is going to be tough, guys, but come on, we're all in it together. I imagine that's like I say, obviously you know Lauren very well from not only school, but from your first film as well. But yeah, in terms of just making sure you're all working in harmony.
Yeah, I mean, we'd all crashed in that house for Bastard together anyway, so Patrick, Lauren, and I were used to that at that point. That was nothing new. Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's amazing. It's great. And in terms of, obviously, did you edit, I dare say this, on the road as well? But I mean, you must have been looking at the footage, no?
We actually weren't really too much. We would check it to make sure it recorded well.
Yes,
like,
of course.
Yeah, because we did have some issues with the phones crapping out on us because of weather. The mountaintop scene, you know, it said it was 11, but it was also 11 degrees outside, but it was also Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, but it was also a wind chill, and it was sunset, so it was getting colder literally every minute. None of us could feel our extremities, and the phone started to freeze. The footage would get glitchy, and we had to, every 2 to 3 takes, we had to run to the car, turn the heat on, and warm them up. And then we'd go down when we were in their big blow-up scene where she yells at him and is screaming and cursing him out and drives off.
Yeah.
That was down near the border of the states, and it was 100 degrees, and the phones were overheating. So we could get a couple of takes in and to run inside the car and turn on the air conditioning. So there were times like that where we were checking to make sure that the footage literally recorded and that we didn't run out of space or something like that.
Yes, because that can happen too. Space on your iPhone is very limited, and it's like, no, you can't record anything else unless you download all your footage.
We were burnt by the end of every day. So, like, the last thing we wanted to do was watch it again. So we would just plug the phones in, dump the footage, and keep going.
and it was like that when we were done. The same person edited Bastard and Threshold, William Ford Conway, amazing guy. But we needed a break so bad, so we dumped the footage on him and gave him the outline, which did not encompass the entire movie, and things had changed around and things we didn't include.
So he would be like, and did you slate it so at least he knew
our slate broke day 2.
So he was like, what do you want me to do with this, kids? I'm going on date order, but you're obviously shooting out of order. So.
Luckily, he was a friend of ours from college as well. Same floor again. And so, bless that third floor. He's put up with us already, so he knew what he was getting into. But,
fine. So he was like, look, just bear with me. I'm going to wade through all your crap.
Yep.
How soon was it before you went in and saw some sort of a semblance of an edit with William?
At least half a year.
Yeah.
Serious?
He was working around his actual job. He works as an assistant editor on Legacies, the TV show.
Editor now.
And now he's moved up to editor. At the time, he was an assistant editor, but now he's an editor on it.
So proper experience.
Sorry, I was talking in the past tense, but yeah, he was. So he was working around that day job, and so he could just fit in our movie when he could. And of course, when you're doing an improv movie, like 12-minute long takes, individual takes per scene, like it just takes a long time to wade through it. So,
but that first cut was great.
It was amazing.
Yeah. We knew much different than the first Bastard cut that we had something that we really liked already.
Because it's hard watching the first cut or an assembly cut because it can be really heartbreaking if you've just come off set, like a week or 2 weeks. But the fact you waited 6 months, by then you were like, I have no idea what it looks like. I can't really remember. You might have skipped through your phone or some of the footage, maybe. But if you hadn't, you're looking at this fresh and going, oh my God, it's not bad.
Yeah.
During those 6 months, all I had were these 6 stills that Powell had done a temp color on. And that was like all I had of the movie. They're amazing, and I loved them, and I showed them off everywhere. But of what the movie actually looked like, I had no idea. Yeah.
We knew we had something, though, because I just remember the end of watching the first edit of Bastard, and we're all sitting on the couch, and Lauren looks at us and goes, cool. And that was all she said. And we were like, shit. Fuck. We really messed this up. And this time it ended, and it didn't even have an ending. Basically, the original first edit didn't have the last scene.
Oh, did it not?
Because Will had no idea what was happening in it. Because
it wasn't in the credits. It was completely shot out of order. It was wild. Sure. And he sent this big long email like, "I'm so sorry, guys. I failed you. I didn't know what to do here." We're like, "Oh, dude, we just didn't talk to you. That's on us.
Yeah. But talk." Even without the ending, we finished it and we were like, "Oh, this is a good movie. Like, this is actually a pretty good movie." And that never happens with the first cut. That's like almost
never.
Your heart's broken every time. Like you sit there and you're like, "Wow, I'm terrible at this and I should quit."
Isn't it weird that happens? It does. We literally watch and go, "This is awful." It doesn't even cut well. But yeah, it's so nice when you sort of go, "Oh,
look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Someone did something good. Who shot this? Who made this?" Yeah, that's great. Oh, great. So then you dived in and made it what you made it and worked on it extensively, I imagine. How long after that 6 months, seeing that first cut, did you have a finished film? Because again, you're working around your other jobs now.
Yeah.
Another
6 months, right?
Another 6 months. Okay.
To have a finished cut or a final
cut.
film?
A locked edit.
Oh.
Locked Edit was another 6 months after that first 6 months, I believe.
Right.
And then we spent all of last year on post.
Right.
Yeah. We shot this October 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
On some iPhone 8 Pluses. Yeah.
Yeah. I've still got my iPhone 8 Plus here. I need to upgrade
now. This is the movie phone I shot the movie on right here. Look at that poster.
There it is, right there. And it's a cool poster. It's eye-catching.
We're some huge nerds because we both have it.
It's got his as well on there. That's amazing. That's so cool. So like I say, you worked on this, I suppose, in the pandemic. You were like, well, is this the time to just finish this movie off? Was that something that made you go, well, we might as well finish it?
We were driving pretty hard towards it. We were in the middle of doing Foley, and about a week out from scheduling ADR when the pandemic hit, like when lockdowns hit in March of last year. So I'd say, and then eventually we found a way around it, found some way safe for everybody to get this done. I'd say it delayed us a good 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
What it did help with, though, was our composer, Nick Chuba, who is phenomenal. He's got a very hefty, typical workload, and who he works for, he doesn't often get the time off to do something this small and like passion project-y. So it really worked out for us that he was able to take the time for it. Same with Charles Moody, our sound designer. You know, it just gave everyone the time off their normal life to focus on it, which was kind of interestingly, it was a silver lining in the middle of
Yes, in a small silver lining. Yeah, absolutely. So now you finished your movie, or at least you've got a finished version. How did you get Arrow involved? Because Arrow are great. You know, they're really flying. Awesome. We got a Serial Killer's Guide to Life through them as well, you know, and so we really like them. Really great team. How did you manage to get, Threshold?
We started with the festivals
20 cold emails.
We knew we started. We wanted to start with festivals this time so that we had some laurels to send along with those blind emails.
Yeah.
Yes. So we got into Salem, and we won a couple of phone festivals. Got into Soho, brought us on board. And so I started sending out my emails, and we started talking to companies. And Arrow wasn't even on my radar. Like, I honestly wasn't aware that they had started doing new pickups.
Because they were originally old movies that they'd take, and then they started to do
right. And I think I contacted them, either them or Scream Factory for Bastard, in
it was Scream Factory
6 years ago.
Yeah.
But in companies like that, just weren't doing this kind of stuff that they're doing now. And then we were talking to a potential sales agency, and that we didn't end up working with, and they mentioned, Arrow as a potential. Like, when I asked them, "Oh, who do you see this movie for?" They're like, "Oh, we would go to Shudder, we would go to a couple of these other companies that are very genre specific. We just worked with Arrow." And I was like, "Oh, well, Arrow, that's interesting." And I looked up what they were doing, and saw their release for the Bloodhound, which was it was just so attentive. I don't know. There was just so much love and care put into that specific release, and I was like, oh,
that would be nice.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
After our last release, like that's what I want. I just want this movie in the hands of people who actually like it.
Yes.
And so I sent them an email. And then I sent them another email, and they got back to us and said that some of the team had actually seen it at a couple of the festivals, and I think at one point they told Powell we saw this and we knew this was an Arrow movie.
Yeah,
and man, you know what that meant to us.
Yeah, it was
after what we went through. It was insane. Everyone over there is fantastic.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, they've been great with the Serial Killer's Guide to Life. Really, really cool. And we had Jill Vargazian on recently, and obviously she had her film The Stylist, which has done really well.
Yeah, got a very cool release as well, man. The work they put into it's awesome.
A lot of love. The poster is amazing, and things like that do make a big difference. And yeah, it's done really, really well. And I expect the same for this as well. So it's super exciting, and it's literally out now because we recorded this
totally live, and this happened
live, but this happened right now. So look, that's so cool. What have you learned along the way that you could inspire other filmmakers with from just going out there and doing something like this?
Hire a sound guy.
And the second
50% of this movie is ADR.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Sound person. Yeah. Sorry.
A sound person. I totally agree. Yeah. It is actually sound is massively important. It really is. Yeah. Anything else?
Know your limits. We loaded a lot against ourselves. A lot of travel, no money, no space, no script, no crew, 2 iPhones. And we barely pulled it off. And that's after all 5 of us having worked constantly and professionally on movies, bigger or smaller, over the past 5 years, and we barely pulled it off. So, if you're just starting off and, trying to do something like this, do it, but know what you can do and with who you can do it. Maybe don't do it on, there is a reason most of these movies are done in a single location. So make sure that you've got, a really great story that you can fall back on, and load up your friends, your talented friends who you can trust.
Yeah.
And,
trust your actors. Always trust your actors.
Just don't push yourself too far,
But just far enough. Just far enough. Know your limits
to the edge,
so you can just barely exceed the threshold, if you will.
Lose sleep. Lose sleep, not sanity.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's nice. And it's true. You have to push yourself, but know where your limit is, isn't it? And just don't go over there so you go crazy. Just do it so your brains are firing in the right way. The synapses are all, creativity's going.
Especially because, you want to keep everyone, these are your friends and you're trusting them. You want to keep them safe.
Yeah.
Yes, you really do. Yeah, safety is really important as well. So is. This has been so much fun. You boys are brilliant. I'm so excited for everyone to see Threshold. I think you've done incredible. I think it's something people can be inspired to look up to, and certainly in years to come. Yeah, I don't see why not. It's brilliant. It's really, really cool. It's fabulous, actually. So well done. Where can people find you on the socials? What's your handle?
I'm mostly on Twitter at JustYoungEnough, and then our film has an Instagram at Threshold_film.
And similar to mine, which is I'm on Instagram mostly at Powell_Robinson. If I'm on Twitter, I'm just reposting whatever Patrick says because I don't use Twitter that much, and he does. So
fine, yeah, but retweeting is always good.
I'm the Patrick Young Stan account. That's me.
Amazing. So there you go, everyone. You can go make your indie film. You can do it on just your iPhone if you like, and with just a story idea you have. But make sure, as Patrick says, that you've really thought that story through, even if you don't know your ending yet.
Yeah. You'll find it along the way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we're creators, we're story makers. You will find it along the way. You can follow me at Giles Alderson, or you can follow the pod at FilmmakersPod, both of those on Twitter, or on Instagram at the Filmmakers Podcast. And if you're lucky enough to rise up and do well, as you know, it is your duty to send the elevator back down. We will see you next Tuesday, as always. But for now, do go out and watch Threshold. It is on Arrow Player. Do go support indie film as much as you can. And thank the boys on their Twitter handles, but not Powell's, on his Instagram, and say thank you very much for doing this. And we love Threshold, because why not?
Thank you so much.
Right, I'm off for some tea and donuts. Boys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Go out there, make your indie films. Make your feature film, make your studio films, make your short films, whatever it is. Go and do it this week. Be inspired. Take care. Bye-bye.